Well, hello there, Skywinders. Welcome back to another episode of Skywind007. On today's episode, we have this right here. I got this from Aldi. I just came back from Aldi. This is the Bauhn LED Galaxy projector. And it has this kind of projections. And it does have a remote, as you can see. And there were two colors. I went for the black, but they did have a white one. So it's a very simple device. So let's open it up and let's take a look. Okay, so this is what's inside. You get the projector. You get a magnetic stand, you get the remote, you get free batteries, the instructions, and a power cord. So like I said, you get free batteries. I already put them in there, and let's plug it in. So this is USB-C, so it's the reversible type, and that goes in here. And it automatically powers on when you plug it in, and this is the magnetic base. And that allows you to rotate it any way you want. So let me power it off for a moment. Okay, so before we look at the projections, I want to show you the three buttons that you have here. They're redundant with the remote, so if you have the remote, you won't need to use that. But let's talk about them anyway. This is the power button. You have to press and hold to power up and power down. And then this right here changes the color of the clouds, and this last one activates and deactivates the sound, what's it called, the sound activation. So basically what this does is that when you activate the sound activation and you play music, the lights will react to the music. That's basically it. Okay, here's the remote. It's very simple. This is the power right here. This is cycle. Mix 1 and 2 are preset mixes for the clouds and their colors. This right here is the brightness of the clouds, and this is the speed of the clouds. Laser is the constellations, LED is the clouds themselves, and this is the moon. So you can turn on and off the constellations, the clouds, and the moon. And 1 hour, 2 hour, and 3 hour, that's the timer. And on the back is the battery. So let's look at the projections. Okay folks, so it is nighttime, and this is what we have, and it's absolutely beautiful. So you mainly get three things: the moon, the clouds, and the constellations. So let's look at one by one. So you can turn off anything. For example, you can turn off the moon if you want, or you can turn off the clouds if you want, or you can turn off the constellations, or you can turn off all three, or have one individually. That's the moon, that's the clouds, and that's the constellation. Okay, so let's examine the clouds, because you can change the colors like this. And you can change the speed. You can go faster like this, or you can freeze it like that. So let's change the color, and then let's see the speed. That's slow, that's medium, and that's fast, and that's stopped right there. So that's blue. So that's what you get as far as the clouds. So these are the constellations right here. So you can't really do much about them. They're just there, and they cycle through. See, it's getting dim, they disappear, they come back, and it cycles like that, and you cannot stop the cycle, not that I know of. And by the way, in person it looks absolutely beautiful. It's just incredible. Okay, so now let's go to the moon. There's not a lot you can do with the moon other than look at it. You can't change the colors or speed. It's not going to rotate or anything. And that's it basically. Now you can turn on and off the audio sensing function. So if there's music, you're gonna see the lights change along with the music. So let's test that. Okay, so I turned on the audio sensing function. So I'm gonna slap my lap. So you see that. So that's very interesting, but it does need to be medium loud, I guess. I'm not really interested in this, so I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about it. And probably the last thing I want to show is the you can change the brightness level, but you can't really see it because my camera is constantly readjusting the brightness. But this is low, this is brighter, 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 low again, brighter, 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 and it just cycles like that. Now if you get lost, like you don't know what's going on, you can always just turn it off, turn it back on, and it resets everything, so it goes back to normal. And it does have a timer function, but I don't really care too much about it, so I'm not even going to spend too much time with the timer. But it'll just time out. If you set it 4 hours, it'll time out 4 hours. But this is beautiful. In person, it's absolutely beautiful. Okay folks, so right now it's daytime. It's 2 p.m. out there. It's bright, and I have this black curtain so you can see the light coming in. So let's turn it on. So you definitely can see it with those curtains. And in a moment, I'm going to move them. I'm going to retract them, and we're going to see how it looks. Okay, so I have retracted the curtains, as you can see. So the light is coming in. It's 2 p.m. And let's look at this. So you can still see it. But like I said, you're not lying to yourself. It's not nighttime, so you're not going to enjoy it. Okay folks, so we have reached the end of this review, and overall I'm very happy. The only issue that I have is the constellation, where it cycles like that and there's no way to turn that off. I wish it would just stay steady. So basically that was the best part of this device, the constellations, but unfortunately it just dies out, comes back, dies out, comes back, and nothing you can do about it as far as stopping that. So I don't know if I can take a star off for that, but yeah, I'll give it 4 stars out of 5 because they really didn't put they really didn't think about it, that somebody would not like to see the stars go out and in, out and in, out and in, because real stars don't do that. I'm glad the moon is steady, and the real moon is steady, and the clouds sort of you know, they're sort of realistic, kind of fast motion, but you can pause them if you want to pause it, which is great. But the constellations, nothing you can do about it, and it is the best constellations I've seen in any of these projectors. So for that reason I have to take 1 star off, so it'll be 4 stars out of 5. So thank you for watching, subscribe, and thumbs up.